You're watching an RH Reality Check production brought to you by rhrealitycheck.org.
I'm Kevin Tillman. I'm 44 years old, and I'm the composer in residence for Triangle Gay Men's Chorus. I actually tested positive in 1989, and back in those days, you tested positive for HIV. For a lot of people, that was a death sentence, basically because you found out so late. I had unprotected sex, which was completely reckless of me. I was so afraid of being rejected and had such a low opinion of myself that all that really played into taking risks and not protecting myself. I was devastated because it's just, you're basically in a state of mourning. For me back then it was, you know, how long do I have? But it's also, you're mourning the end of life as you knew it. Told my parents early, but that was difficult. The hardest part for them was not that I had HIV because I was healthy and everything was fine, but they didn't understand that you could have HIV and be healthy. So a lot of the calls with my parents were questions about, basically they were just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Telling the first couple of people that I had HIV, once I got past that and learned that I wasn't in it alone, that meant all the world. It made all the difference. Because I know that there are so many people out there that just feel like an island in a sea. And that's a pretty lonely place to be. You have people who lose friends and family over HIV. Literally, they will just turn them out cold. I am absolutely, positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, blessed that my dearest friends and family have not. And one of the things I learned was you can't please all the people all the time, and not everybody is going to be supportive. And you can still love them, but one of the big things about HIV is stress will get you. And you have to know when to say, I love you, but we need to move on. That's the hardest. I love you, goodbye. The other hard thing has been all of the people you lose. Doesn't happen as much now. And sometimes the ones that do just come out of the blue. There really wasn't any viable health care for people with HIV back then. And there was no motivation for care because people were just horribly, horribly underinformed. You're talking pre-95. So you had maybe 2 drugs to treat HIV then. And those drugs only held up for so long, and they were really toxic. So it was, some of the folks were living on borrowed time. I know for me that I went, from one treatment to another because my liver just doesn't like some of these things. I was jaundiced for a long time. Looked almost alien. It was kind of funny, but HIV is just a disease. It doesn't show any boundaries or favorites, or in this case, least favorites. There's no really target population. It's not a moral disease. And a lot of people try to make it that. And that's what makes it so hard for so many people. I think there's this, no, I know there's this perception that basically AIDS is over. And that's just not true.